Hello everyone, welcome to the haul from the International Flower and Garden Show. Everything that I bought and made or saw or got for free. So I can't wait to show you everything. I had such an amazing time. I went on Friday, today is now Sunday, so I was exhausted yesterday. I think I walked about 16 or 17,000 steps just at the show. And I kept just doing loops of everything. I just couldn't soak it up enough. Even if I tried, my phone died. A lovely lady at the garden show actually lent me her charger, which was so lovely. At the Mushaki. I'll put the name of the brand here, but that was so sweet of her to let me charge my phone. And then I just kept taking so many videos, so many photos. I wanted to soak it all up. I spent time just reading everything, chatting to everyone, but I had such an amazing time. I can't believe it was my first ever time going to the garden show. I will definitely be back next year and the year after and every single year, hopefully, but I just had an amazing time. So I guess let's just get into what I bought. There was a little bit, and I'm a sucker for a show bag, but I'll show you it all now. Before I do get into the haul, I just thought I would give you some advice if you're going. Obviously it is over today, so I'm not posting this video when it's still open. But for next year or the year after, if you just come across this video, if you're planning on buying a lot, I would suggest driving quite early in the morning. I know there's a lot of traffic. The Formula One was on, so that was a little bit harder. I got there extra early, got a coffee at one of the coffee carts. I got a coffee from there, and I just kind of took my time. So there was a lot of parking around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning on the Friday. I have heard that the Saturday and the Sunday get quite busy, so I'm not 100% sure about that. There were a lot of nurseries, places you could buy, you know, indoor plants, outdoor plants, bulbs, tools. You could even buy, I don't know, mowers, I don't know. But there was a lot of things you could buy. So if you're planning on buying some things at a discounted rate, most of the places had discounted rates, I would definitely suggest driving or asking somebody to come pick you up in the afternoon. Another thing I would also suggest is just really comfy shoes. I wore some white runners and they were perfect for the day. It did start raining and my runners were waterproof, so that was really good as well, because, you know, once it started raining, I wasn't finished with the outdoor section, so I still walked around a little bit. There was a bit of water everywhere, so really comfy shoes is a must, especially if you're planning on looking inside, outside of the flowers, the gardens, and doing all the loops like I did. Definitely book in for the Scott's Osmocote indoor plant or the succulent workshops. So I'll show you next, but I did get a little indoor plant which I made, I named it, and that was really great just to be able to chat to them, find out what fertilizers they use for indoor plants. I didn't get around to the succulent workshop, but next year I definitely will, but they do book out. So make sure when you're booking your ticket online, book the workshop as well, just so that you know what day, and then you can have that time as well. Another thing I found really helpful, which may be a bit nerdy, but I had a pen, and because I didn't want to buy everything at the start. If I was walking around and I saw something, I didn't want to lug it around with me. So I just wrote it down on the map that they gave me and just circled where I would go, so that at the very end of the show, once everything was finished, I went back to all the places I'd circled or written down what I wanted or a price of something, just so that, you know, I didn't miss out on anything, or I got home and thought, oh, I forgot to get that bulb. So that was a really good idea. So bring a pen with you. And yeah, I brought, you know, an umbrella, which I did need it. It rained in the end. They had water taps, so I just had a bottle of water and I filled that up throughout the throughout the gardens. And I also had a really warm jacket, because indoors it's great where all the flower shows are and there's some market stalls there as well. But outside, when I went, it was fairly cold in the morning because I got there so early, and I tried to stay till twilight because they do a lot of light displays. So it did get a little bit cold, but thankfully I had my jacket and really warm clothes and an umbrella. They had some awesome things for kids as well. They've got like a bingo sheet so that your children can find things on the bingo sheet. They had microscopes where you could see things. There were bees. There were lots of interactive things for children. So I would definitely recommend bringing your child if you would like. Just know it is a really big day and there is a lot of walking. Well, for me there was, but there is a lot of seating as well. Is there anything else? I just loved it. If you can get down there, definitely try and get down there. It was just such an amazing experience. It was so inspiring. Like, I know driving home after I went on Friday night, I just was sitting in the car and I was like, that was incredible. I felt really emotional about it. It was just so many inspirational things to see and people to meet. Like, the people I met and asked lots of questions, they were so willing to help and answer all of my questions, and I felt that everyone there wanted to be there as well. It was such a nice community. So it was really inspirational, and I just loved walking around and seeing everything, all the beauty in the flowers, the gardens, the people, the effort that people had gone into was just amazing. But yes, I've talked for so long now. Let us get into the haul and everything that I bought. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do this, but that is heavy. Like I said before, there are workshops, indoor plants workshops and succulent workshops that are run by Scott's Osmocote. So I was fortunate to book in for the indoor plant workshop, and here is my beautiful plant. They asked you to name it, so I of course named her Ruby, just so that I would remember what type of plant she is. I'll put the name on the screen. I don't actually remember. I did take a photo so that I could remember, but it is a ruby, I believe a ruby rubber plant, but they give you everything you need. They tell you all of the different additives that you're including in here. It's a plastic container. So my recommendation for booking a Scott's Osmocote workshop is to book it a little bit later in the afternoon so that you don't have to carry the little plant around. I booked mine at 3:30. I didn't finish walking around till about 6:30 or 7, but it wasn't too bad to walk around with for a few hours. However, if it had been early in the morning, I probably would have been a little bit annoyed by it. But they give you the pebbles at the bottom for drainage, the Scott's Osmocote indoor plant soil as the middle with a bit of charcoal, and then some pebbles at the very top with the Pour and Go Feed liquid fertilizer to help this little baby out. And it was really nice. I got to meet a few different people at that workshop that we just chatted about indoor plants and all things gardening. So yeah, I highly recommend making yourself a little indoor plant or succulent. They also did give me this indoor plants controlled release fertilizer when you book the workshop. So that was amazing. This is just a 6-month feeding, 1 sachet per 20 centimeter pot, and it's for 6 months. So if I was to put it in one of my pots, I probably won't put it in this one here because it already has liquid feed, fertilizer, and the indoor plant soil and charcoal. So this one should be okay for a little while, but I'll put this in one of my more established indoor plants so that it can help it. Next up, I bought the Scott's Osmocote Showbag. Like I said, I love a Showbag. So I haven't actually opened these, but all right. I believe it was $25, but I will put that up. I got in the Showbag, the Pour and Feed indoor plants ready to use fertilizer, which we did actually use that in the indoor plant workshop. Next up, indoor plant controlled release fertilizer. Awesome. So this is a really small sachet of this one here, and it says 1 tablespoon is for a 15 centimeter pot diameter. So I believe this would last me probably all of my indoor plants for the next 6 months, and maybe even another top up for at least half of them. Mist and Feed indoor plant. So this one just goes onto the actual leaf itself. Just says here, helps grow beautiful green glossy foliage and protect from damaging dry environments found in today's homes. This is especially great because we are coming into winter and it gets a bit drier indoors. A Bunnings magazine. Oh my goodness. Plant baby on board. I think this is ridiculous, but amazing as well. I don't know if I will put it on my car. Oh, we'll see. We'll see if I put this on the car. And last but not least, obviously we get, oh my goodness, I'm making a mess. Obviously you get the cool bag, a small little bag of indoor plants, the potting mix, which we used for this one here. So this will actually be great because I might pot up a few of my new plants. I might actually just do a bit of a spray now before I continue this video because I have noticed a few of my plants looking a little bit sad, so let's do it. Okay, next up is what I bought at Garden Express. So let us start with this one here. The Showbag, I told you, I love them. Showbag Special, which is 165 bulbs. It cost me $29, but it was valued at $102. So there's 10 Spanish bells, 20 Ixia mixed, 10 Dutch iris mixed, 30 anemone mixed, 20 sparaxis mixed, 10 babiana mixed, 15 daffodil mixed, 50 spring star mixed. So, oh my god, I'm out of breath. So that is amazing value for its money, and I just couldn't go wrong. We're moving into the new house, and let us have all of the bulbs, and hopefully in a few years they'll multiply and I can give them away to family and friends. I also bought the Hyacinth China Pink. So I got 3 bulbs for $7 for this one here. I could not stop smelling them at the garden. Actually, this is one recommendation that I did forget earlier. If you have hay fever, do take a Telfast earlier because the flowers, some of them are so strong, beautiful for me because I don't have hay fever, but I can imagine it would get right up someone's nostrils. But Hyacinth China Pink. I also got some tulips, so 3 tulip Columbus. I thought they were frilled tulips, but it doesn't look like it, but they're a beautiful pink. And then I was hoping to find freesias just on their own rather than a mixed, but I did end up just going with a freesia mixed, which this is 60 bulbs. So hopefully they're not all yellow, but they'll be beautiful. Flowers August through to October, so I don't know when I should plant it. Is it now? So keep an eye out for all of these. And the last thing I bought is the Fuchsia Don's Favorite. I'll post a photo of it here if I remember. But it was so stunning. They had photos of all of the different freesias. I've never bought a freesia. Our neighbor just down the road has some, and they look like tiny little fairies dancing. And this one was a pink fairy with the purple tulle dress. So it was stunning, and I just had to buy it, you know? I just had to. So this was my only outdoor actual plant that I bought at the garden show, just because I didn't want to go too crazy. But it's gorgeous. So that is everything I bought at Garden Express. The Garden Express was really big store, so I do recommend going there. This was actually my last purchase of the day while it was completely raining, but it is from Red Hill Lavender Farm. So I bought some dried, beautiful lavender stalks. I'm hoping to make a tiny little wreath for them. They're just so stunning, so calming as well. You could even just put them up somewhere in a little vase like this, but I think I watched the Garden Answer YouTube and she put them in a wreath for Christmas, but she obviously had giant bundles of lavender. I've only got the one, but I think I'll do really a tiny little wreath and it will smell delightful. While I was at the Lavender Farm stall, the Red Hill Lavender Farm stall, I also got 2 different soaps. So I got a lemon soap and a lavender soap. Actually, I mixed those up. I got a lavender soap and the lemon soap. So they feel amazing and they smell so good. So yeah, I got those 2 from the Red Hill Lavender Farm. So I got this honey here from Edmonds Honey, the Kamaruka. It was from Mount Dunedin. So it's a product of Australia, and they had a really big range of different honey with different scents, I guess you would say, or flavors, sorry, different flavors. I just decided to get this one, which was a bit more subtle. The next 2 things actually I purchased were from Sproutwell Decor. I bought some moth sticks. So you put these where your cabbages and your brassicas are, and it detracts the moths, thinking that there's already a moth there landing. However, obviously it's just some, is it paper? Yeah, just paper flying in the wind. So that was, I got 6 of those. I got this beautiful tin flower stake. So I don't know, I think it'll look cool. I might put it in with the zinnias. There's another person at my community garden that has this, and I didn't realize it was not a real flower, which it was just in amongst all of their flowers. It looked so pretty. So I just thought, why not? So yeah, they call this here a plant stake. I'm not sure if I'll use it as that or just a decorative flower in the garden. Okay, the next thing I bought, so in the magazine that they give you when you walk around the show, there was this beautiful philodendron pink princess. Really wanted a indoor plant with pink leaves, which obviously this does have. And then once I did the indoor workshop, I also got a pink plant. But this one is stunning. Look at the variegation on the leaves, the veining of the pink veins, the stems, and I believe this is a new leaf. It's so soft. So I got the philodendron pink princess from Diakos, sorry. They also give you a $10 coupon when you do shop in store at any of their locations. I sound like a saleswoman. So that's awesome. And then I also bought this indoor pot plant. It came with the water catcher underneath, and I believe I might put that one in there. So I will probably pot it up into a bigger pot plant and then pop it in here. And when you spent a certain amount, you got a wetter soil wetter concentrate for free. So that is a really nice and free, nice gift. So I bought this Monash Organics Rock Dust. It's a soil plant and compost mineral food. It's 3 kilograms, so it is a bit heavy. But this is actually where I got to charge my phone. So the lady at Monash Organics let me charge my phone there. So really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't catch her name, but thank you so much. It's just minerals for the garden. So it says, spread a thin layer of rock dust over the top of your plants and soil, which will feed and nourish them. We recommend 1 handful per square meter. So a handful about 100 grams, and this is 3 kilograms. So this should cover up to about 30 square meters. And it probably is a great time to do it now before winter, or maybe even just after winter, ready for spring and summer crops. So I might just sprinkle a little bit now at the garden and then leave the rest for spring. Made with love in Ballarat, Victoria. So not very far at all. I actually grew up in Ballarat. Okie dokie. Let's get into it. At the Flower and Garden Show, the Gardening Australia and Organic Gardener, the magazines, if you bought the subscription for the year, you got a lovely goodie bag, or as I like to call it, a show bag. So of course I purchased the Organic Gardener, which will come out every 6 weeks. So I'm super excited about that. It's a really nice magazine. I haven't actually opened this. I did move it from a few things from in the bag to in my car without really reading the labels and seeing things. So I'll put it down next to me and we'll go through every single thing in this goodie bag. I will speed it up for yourself so that you are not bored by me going like, oh, this is so exciting. And if there's anything I really would love to talk about, I will. A beautiful gift card from Amanda Legovich. Green Man Char Blended Biochar. Oh, I think this is actually what we used in the indoor plant workshop. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. So this is from Up on the Rooftop. So I follow her on Instagram, and she has a beautiful selection of garden products here in Australia. And this is a root pouch. So it's a grow bag. It's a 2 gallon or 8 litres. Tomato Superior Choice and Original English Favourite. So there's actually some tomato seeds in here. There's about 30 seeds, so that'll be perfect. In about 3 to 4 months, I will start these up for sure. Another great thing is that the 2 magazines, the most recent magazines, came in the Showbag. So I didn't have to, once I signed up, I didn't have to wait. I got them straight away. I obviously opted for the organic, but they also give you the gardening magazine at the same time. Oh, nice. So there's 3, did I buy this? No. 3 Daffodil Senior from Garden Express, Earth Life Garden Care, a flower blend. So that's really cool. Another rock minerals, a spade or trowel, Tough Hands, industrial strength, hand repair, organic worm hit pellets are perfect. Oh, so they're pellets with worm stuff. It's like a fertilizer, which is great. A quick starter and some pellets. Like I said, this is such a good little goodie bag. And you're basically just paying for the magazine subscription and you get all of this for free. Indoor Plant Tonic for stronger, healthier, lusher indoor plants from Rocky Point. Sea Salt, oh yeah, the seaweed solution. Charlie Carp all-purpose fertilizer. My garden is going to be fertilized, let me tell you. Ooh, some rosé. Yes, please. Is this alcoholic? 1.8 standard drinks of organic, vegan-friendly rosé. I might actually have to have that tonight. This is just a natural wash, prickly pear and bamboo. So this is from The Naked Truth. The Plant Runner Indoor Plant Food, which this is actually made in Melbourne, which is really cool. Another liquid fertilizer, mostly for indoor plants. 35 seeds of parsley. Organic neem cake fertilizer. Organic weed killer ready to use. It does say approved for use on organic farms and gardens. This is a bathroom surface cleaner by Uke Love. Dishwashing liquid. Again, I believe this is made in Australia. Yep, from Wash Wild. Charlie Carp all-purpose fish fertilizer pellets. And I think, is this the last one? Yes. And the last one, a freshwater farm, lemon myrtle oil and manuka honey body bar. Obviously just a beautiful soap. I've actually had this one before. So the lemon myrtle smells so good and honey is great on your skin. So that was a lot, wasn't it? There was this magazine Groundswell, which is amazing because the achievable gardens are all in here with every single plant that they used and what the garden represents and what it means, who their sponsors were. But it just means that the ones that you really liked, you can actually kind of recreate in your own garden. And one other thing that I found really helpful is this Powerful Pollinators pamphlet. So it's from Ween Bee Foundation. I actually know one of the gentlemen at Ween Bee. He is a gardener at my community garden, Tony. So it was great to see him and his bees there. But this pamphlet is really helpful because I'm living in the western side of Melbourne. They gave me this specific pamphlet, whereas if I was living in the east, it would be a different one. It has amazing information here. And then the best part is when you open it up, there is a giant pollinator plant list. So it has when it flowers, what the flower color is, you know, the scientific name, the common name. It has everything like the pollinator reward, if there's pollen, if there's nectar, what if it needs sun, if it needs shade. So that is a really, really great insight, and I will definitely keep this handy for when I'm growing. You know, it's got shrubs here, it's got ground covers, trees, annuals, it has so many different things. So really, really helpful, and especially because it is for my area in Victoria. And I will definitely keep this very close to my seed collection when I'm planting out some flowers for the bees and the pollinators. If you have made it to the very end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It was such a pleasure to go to the International Flower and Garden Show in Melbourne and to show you everything that I bought. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we can catch each other at the next International Flower Show next year. But until then, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye for now.